Tangwe do je razon ro jinja ma da de ja bon jamba zerja lombo tabra jebek shakje jab ja do ngo jon zo dor jen jen je de lo na ro da ma ba ma la je Gampopa pa mo de ba ja wan do gong ba ga ju la ma nan je da jon je da nan de na zera dam je de la ma la ba la ye je zo zo la zo yon den jam zo nga la wa den de dong jin de ba ge le zo den jin za wa la ma je go zong do je zhen lan da ge je la be de da ge den ba dan zhen jin je dong ja jin bang zhe ba zhen je lao de zo ya ten chi ta hi ten journal
That's all. So then just starting with where we were before we got cut off. So with the seventh line of these 10, it says one should take food that benefits their health and should follow the method for sound health. Or another way that it could be worded is that one should eat in a way that is appropriate for their constitution. And so generally speaking, Khenpo says, actually here in the West, that people are really very mindful of health, that they are very good about nutrition and health and different ways to have sort of be conscious of their a diet or their intake of food in a way that is healthy and that is good, for the constitution. And also in the Vinaya, in the Buddha's sutras that deal with the Vinaya, there's a lot that is addressed with regard to the proper intake of food. There are actually quite a lot of really, really good advice. There's quite a lot of details and good advice, and the proper way to eat and rely on nourishment through food that is good for the constitution and also for practice is really talked about at great length. And in general, there's an emphasis on eating very little after noon, which is also very good for the health. And so actually the instructions dealing with a proper alimentation in this Vinaya are really, really very thorough and really quite amazing. And so Khenpo says, in his own case, he isn't quite as careful about food as he would like to be. He doesn't put, he's not so he hasn't been really interested in being and paying special attention to this, but he would like to, and in general to be conscientious of how one eats in a way that is healthy and beneficial physically and mentally is really really important and beneficial.
산지에 파칠 타파른 보준도 인사요 뛰는 송요래
Charpe Rinpochedo?
산지에 근도 있는 송요래 도
Taregido?
단도 맹 파칠 말람 득사래 나 팀보마도 근데 너도 가래 송요르시나 센치나 루치스 루치나 춘치 송리 대그 가래 송요르 휴바이나 감당 룰런 투버게 세 야보요나 데니 루든 투딘 야보요 거래 루든 투딘 야보요나 데니 추게와 야보 드럽트 거래 송제 때린도
So the Buddha says in one of his sutras that if one eats in a way that is happy or content, then the body will be happy or content. And if the body is happy or content, then the Dharma will be happy or content. And so what is meant by this is that if one eats in such a way that is really a support to one's health or constitution, then there will be physical benefits. Then the body will be well and healthy. And if the body is well and healthy, then one will be able to practice the Dharma well. One will be able to practice virtue well.
Tenita don't sing jebate, Nyamla pimbe chutan julam din sonre. Tade caresung your huna. That's so soon metin pin toyage. Teni so metin dinana pin toya. Teni Jewa Samalaya pin toyage. Teni chu. Tena Yamlin dangoris. Then Julam Deyang, then that a Shamanika la Piaga, Julam than a Tingo Guru only.
Gontajamati?
Julam Deyang, da Pena Lugagone, Megeva Pang, Geva Kang, top drop. Ngag gone Megeva Pang, Geva Kang, top drop. Then that Chebaina, Julam Chagrawa, Julam Yabo Chagrawa. They tell it in Delayan Tsiringwa down to sort of Pingera.
So then the number 8 says one should take shelter in Dharma and conduct to benefit themselves through experience. Or another way to word it would be one should rely on Dharma and a path of conduct that benefits experience. And so in order to bring about or experience benefit in this life, in order to experience benefit in future lives, then we practice the Dharma. And this path, likewise, our path of conduct, when really directed in the practice of virtue, through the door practicing virtue, through the door of the body, practicing virtue through the door of speech, and so on. That is our path of conduct. And when our path of conduct is pure or good, then it adds to the longevity in this life, and we experience a direct benefit in this life, not to mention benefit in future lives.
That Perna Ngaranzo Lamnang in parts in Robocaps, Lamnang la do chimbo no Tana Sadu Yuna. Teni soso la tutsu yona dot so pa lang surka tana la pa ni ne tana chi na teni soso ke te samba zambo ke le gare teni samba zambo la ya te pe kar chimbo cha de yore teni chen de go wang de seba yin na ya to so ke che ren la pinto chimbo yo soso ke jawa lam ro yon la pinto yo sung ke yorwa.
So even something as simple as, say, for instance, when there are big like rocks or debris in the road, And with a good intention or pure intention, one thinks to clear the road of rocks and debris. Then that act of clearing the road with a pure or good intention becomes a really virtuous activity, really virtuous work. And this kind of activity one feels moved to engage in such activity based on a pure intention, when one has a good intention or a pure intent. And so this is so important. When these kinds of activities with pure intention are done, then it creates, it actually does contribute to the longevity, one's longevity in this life. And it also helps to ensure that one's activities in general in life will be successful.
Takulong zambo yena tene sosoke ando tesung hoyore satan lam tamje satan lam zodita deroda samba zambo yena satan lam yang zang sungdo tenda yin zang aranzo zapapter ke kunzang lam shalong nana yorwa Musum ke tene chacha chadum jigla me tangbo teke tate chacha te lamko lamwo lama sa da kha tene ya lam gang ya chin somari si tene ti jin me cheke ta chacha te khala charpa la suba pap tenarina pang ne thola ndo sari tene Lamgo tena nying baje lamnang lo yo bate ya chacha de la kaparis tene mache ga ta chacha de kala lamgo nying baje kap de te tin rongo mari te pa yuk ne tena cheri si tene tena ben sungka ke kulong zambo yin ba tena ke loju yo te tabare tene ngaran so ke namju lu tang nga go ne yin la ropa jaya tang tene tanda chama thamje kulong zambo la tine yongrewa ten de kulong de zo karchim borewa
So as is said, if the intention is pure, then the paths and stages will be pure, or the paths and bhumis are also pure. And so Pato Rinpoche, in the words of my perfect teacher, gives the example of three very different acts or expressions of conduct that were all motivated by a pure intention, and so therefore were equally pure. So first, and the examples are with regard to a tsatsa in the road. So the first individual who comes along sees the tsatsa in the road, and so with a pure mind, he thinks, I should put this tsatsa shouldn't be here on the ground. I should, put it elevated and put it up on the high, on the wall, or I should put it in a high spot. And so he places it on higher on the wall, and then the second person comes along and sees the tsatsa and thinks, if this tsatsa here, when it rains, will get wet and it will be destroyed. So I better cover it. And so he takes an old shoe to protect the tsatsa and places it on top. And then the third person comes along and sees a tsatsa covered with an old shoe and thinks, oh, it isn't good that this satsa is covered by an old shoe. I should remove this old shoe. And so he takes the shoe, he removes the shoe. But all three had a pure intention in each of these three actions that were, from the perspective of honoring the tsatsa, wanting to honor the tsatsa. And so in all three with pure intention then become pure activities. And so this is how it is with regard to our conduct of body and speech. The virtue of the conduct is really directed by the virtue of the mind. And so if the intention is pure, then the conduct of body and speech follows. And so whatever we do, we should always take care to do that with a pure-hearted or a good intention, with the wish to benefit others and to help others.
Tanita tegu karpar tonsing gabate. Tonsing gabate la tegu karpar dim berlomatin sondoa. Tanita gang na lama sini da dimba ninji tang chamba de dimba gori sonwa ta te loma de la yang ten lama de la lama la kuyap sosoke gebishini la kuyap ta tepa tanang yungki tanda che tingo yorisi tane karpa dimba son dita neyang gache chewa ngama la ta chewa ngama tanda la che mulam tapa tanda mulam zambo tapa la tine tene yang tsendela tene lama tang loma che yongdu tene lama te loma te ju la tene kare sugar da loma te nyam la pimba ke chu xie toba tang tene loma te yang tene sozo ke ju la nyam lama te ke nyam ta toba tso che tabya tenda yongwa te la tamsek dim lama te loma tamsek dim ba tang karpa dim ba sung yore te inzang tara te tabeche tingo yorisi ta ta chigdo jewa ngama te le ta tamchik jigba mena yang chendala yang che loma te lama la kuba tang jewa tang tanang yongge tenda tin thamna tene ta lama ta loma pa la tamchik to so chama song to ya la pinto chimbo yorwa o tenda inzang de sung yore
Jamati kontati tamsik mena yang
tamsek mina yang lame jewa ngama karsi molam tada taw yapa mingba ina yang chendala teni loma zambo ina teni lama la tepa ta jewa ta kuba yongorwa tele teni lama ta loma pa la tamsek yapo song to ya la pingirwa songza loma tanda go songdoa
So then number 9 says one should teach only to faithful and fortunate disciples. And so this is connected or similar to in those instructions which came before. There was mention of the need to rely upon a qualified teacher, a qualified lama who has love and compassion. And likewise, the student, there are the necessary qualities or characteristics of the student. So a lama should accept or teach to students who have respect, faith, and pure view, who are endowed with fortune, with good fortune. And so often this is because of a karmic connection from former lives, because aspirations made in former lives, and there has been a connection in the past in former lives between the Lama and student, or the teacher and disciples. And so then in this life, they meet, they come together due to the pure samayas and aspiration prayers made in the past or made in former lives. And so then the Lama is able to share the pith instructions with the student, and the student putting those instructions into practice is benefited by the Dharma that has been taught. And so, in this case, it's really important or crucial that the student have faith and respect, and that they follow their teacher's guidance or instruction, that they keep it pure samayas, and that they accomplish or that they practice according to the pith instructions. Even if it is not the case that aspiration prayers have been made in former lives, or that there is a particularly strong karmic connection from the past, it is really necessary or important that the students have a pure heart, that they have a good heart or pure mind, and that they have a faith and devotion to their teacher, and that they are able to put the teacher's instructions into practice and to keep the samayas.
Karpa dimbe lama to loma shudu yang pe hubaina. Ta pena malare pak marpa can tin to batang. Tene lu papa tang me chimatro. Tenda indu lama manjar nguni lama can tin to batang. Tenda yongro ate ta karpa dimbe lama to loma chad yorwa. Tene marpa ke malare pa pekuyoba chin yori. Tena yin ke Gampopa ke malarebe sin to ba da nyam de tene kong lu pa dang mai chima thwa la so ba dang tene tana kan nyam nyam mang bo chi na wa wa te tan je ta ngarang so pen so chu ba na te ta cha de yori.
So when there is a strong karmic bond between teacher and disciple, then there are signs such as what was experienced by Milarepa merely upon hearing Marpa's name. So when he first heard Marpa's name, all his hairs stood on end, and tears started to fall from his eyes. And likewise, when he was on his way to meet Marpa, Marpa also knew that Milarepa was coming, and he came out to meet him. And same as with the story of Gampopa, when he first heard Milarepa's name, all of his hairs stood on end. He had goosebumps, and he shed tears, or his eyes teared up. Tears fell from his eyes, and a number of experiences arose for him just through the power of this very strong karmic bond. And so these are some examples of the karmic, when there is a karmic bond from former lives between the teacher and his student.
Tanita Donsin Chubate, Julam Nam Yer Jun the Timbata Higin Tin song. Ta Julam Nam Yete Gani Hubaina, and Rowan Egap, Duban Egap, Teni Yarvin Egap, Teni Samala Soba, Chuban Egap, Teni Tadu ta Julan Namba Yibote, the Tin Hitting Gori song.
So then in the line 10, it says, one should always have mindfulness and alertness upon the 4 types of conduct and should use them in life. And so the 4 types of conduct then are walking, sitting, sleeping or lying down, and Khenpo said eating, samaza, or here it says waking, but maybe that includes
waking.
Waking, rebe. Okay, which maybe includes eating food, and so in one's path of conduct, it's necessary to have mindful awareness at all times through these 4 modes of abiding, or through these 4 types of conduct.
Ta cherdang janchok sem kthone tenhi tin dang de teni gangla mambo shu yo bare teni namjun ta ngarang chon rowe ne kapso chul tenhi tin dang de perna nga chajung garchin bo chela khung ke pala ke deni phala doje yo ban da chamla yang tenhi tin go tanda zon khung ke tara loju ke loni nang den do that so jarwa na ta chuti de dangwa na gi cha de yore aso tin hitin dang de tanda wen roben ne kapso tani che lamnang lambo ji yo na yang o tan de nga ge ji ya na yong ga mari so je yogri tani te so je ya ba ina chen de la yang so so che thong ron ro ya dang then jiwa sma la yang tene tanda tik solin zon jargo yo bas chena tene timba de rabrina timba sokcha de che so ya bon so thsa je la ya njo ya dang te ma jong na yang ten so so ge te kang ba khya la zen ro ro ma yin ba te ta ver tin hiting go yoris
So when it comes to practicing mindful awareness, we spoke quite a lot about this, but mostly in terms of maintaining bodhicitta, the mind of bodhicitta, to have mindfulness with regard to bodhicitta. But here also there is a sustaining mindfulness in the 4 these 4 types of conduct, or throughout the 4 modes of conduct. And there are various ways to encourage mindfulness or adhere to mindfulness, such as the example told by Garchen Rinpoche, for instance, in the movie and the documentary, where he mentioned that his father would say to practice mindfulness, or would practice mindfulness in such a way that he would say from here to that rock there, and he would identify a rock, several, in the near distance, and then he would actively sustain mindful awareness until he arrived at that rock, not allowing the mind to become distracted. And in this way, he would practice mindfulness, choosing while he was walking throughout the conduct of walking, by identifying an object and then sustaining mindfulness to using that object, such as a rock, as kind of a mark as a goal, for the mindfulness. And then also in our path of walking, we can practice mindfulness by being aware of the creatures in our path, the insects that are there, recognizing them and thinking it is not okay or recognizing that they are there and thinking it's not okay if I step on these insects. If I step on these insects, then it will, that is a negativity incurred by myself. It can shorten my lifespan in this life. And then in future future lives, I will have to like repay the karma of by having my own life taken. And so it's then with the awareness of not wanting to kill or take the life of another being, then one can transport the insect to a safe place where its life won't be in danger. Or at the very least, one can avoid stepping on the insect. And this is also a way in which we can practice mindful awareness while we are walking.
Tene nyarba kapsa yang malare pa ke sumba na yin che so ke tmo ke ni le yor sumba ma yin pa namjun te ngaran so onga hong dorji de pa tena nyam ni nang ki mambo yorwa o te ta be chi tamna pe me si ke yapore tene onga hong te tene sanje tamji ke kusong thuk chik de dupa ke ngo cha de yode tene on hon dorji de bala me patte ne nyar de wa na te tene nyar bu kap string hitin ba cha de yore je ma do ma nyar nyar ne tene semra longba kang cha dang ka sam no longba kang tang ne tna chen ne tene ni mo ko wala no ge yore la tene kar si ni ba na ni de korang ti hiba de korang me ge walan jon ro yoro tene Nimo de langarang so namdo ke jisen rang do tu mege ba samje ma ja ba sa ta na gonda ma ni du bu ni de ke hiba de yang mege ba la phar jor ya ba ina tene ta tamjir job je cham ban bel rom bo chi thoba de thola dang ja wa ro ji chan ro yo re den da yin zang ong a hong dor ji de ba la mi pa te ne da rang thol te ne tene ko ni de ba ina tene sing ki hiba de ya yi shi jung wo lo char jon ro yo ro te yi shi jung wo jor so wa ina tene ko sing de ke ngarang zu ni na ni go chu ba cha ro go yo re tene malawi na je malang zambo men si ba ro te la tin tene sing na malang ke ne ka so ya che ti chancho sum ba molang tu so na yo re sing na malang ya du bo men men shu ho se churang la churang sing na ni ku bu ka so ni malang du bo zang yang men men ho zen chancho sum ba da molang da yo go yo re kan dan do da chancho sum ba la ya te o te na de
kan de chancho sum ba mon nam nang la kan de sum
sing na churang ma ni ku du du churang la malang du bo men men ho se molang ja ke yo re churang malang zang bo mi ho se na molang ja ze do
that's all. So then, with the conduct of lying down, when lying down, just so we have the example that was mentioned earlier, the instructions that were mentioned earlier from Milarepa about how to practice in such a way throughout the night, so that one doesn't fall into the ignorance of sleep. Another method is through practicing the Vajra recitation, the mental recitation of Om Hung, following the rhythm of the breath. And so this is really important, a very powerful practice, because not only does it help in sustaining mindfulness, but it also creates a means through which the blessings of the Buddha's enlightened body, speech, and mind are received, because the three syllables also represent the enlightened body, speech, and mind of the Buddhas. And so when one is lying down, it is really a wonderful practice to do the Vajra recitation and to sustain it, into all the way into falling into sleep. On the other hand, if we just lie down and kind of fall and plunge into mental darkness, following the ordinary stream of mental chatter that is only the content of attachment and aversion, then this will really harm the entire duration of sleep in such a way that our consciousness is directed into non-virtue. And then when we wake up in the morning, then instantaneously we fall into, or we repeat the same habit of following after the stream of discursive thought or proliferating thought forms. And so then that whole period of sleep has been wasted in non-virtue. And so if we make a habit of sleeping in that way, then that is half of our life spent asleep, in which we have really wasted, in a kind of continuum or stream of non-virtue, in which we have really wasted this opportunity of the 18 leisures and endowments of this precious human birth. And so, on the other hand, if one practices while lying down by reciting the Vajra recitation, or doing the Vajra recitation, then one's consciousness transforms into wisdom, or primordial wisdom is directed to primordial wisdom and sustained throughout the duration of sleep. And so in the Bodhisattva aspiration prayer, it says, and also he said in that way, then it's possible that then we will have really auspicious dreams, like pure and auspicious dreams, by directing the consciousness in this way before falling asleep. And so in the Bodhisattva aspiration prayer, it says, may you, when you sleep at night, may you not have negative dreams. May you not have any bad dreams. Instead, may your dreams be pure and auspicious.
Tene ya ni se yom bakapso ta ni kadu se na kolamsang je soso ke yadang ko late sengola lame khatba je tana kom tabaina kale kala kom rodu shanti dewa song yore chona kom song aina jitin di kan la chama pe lela poris chona pe komya yore song re te ga na yin ke choban jitin sungong ke topa nyam topa la ya te chona ke gom jam ne te kom song ate la lame in song ro nyam topa la ya te gari re sina churang ke gom nyalni che te che gom du tama gom ne teni nyamnyong thoman batela topa la ra nyam topa zoyat teni tara kunchin lungchin ramjang ke song ne gompa mayin gompa yin song re gom zojite churang gom ma gom ra le risi teni te gom song na gompa de ya long de jorzo de ta gompa de ya che na wo je pep ne tena re ndu te cho ranking ke lan me be gom chin cha de yoro wa te sung je ren do tena yin za ngarang zo ni ga du se yin na ya lamsang so so ke yedang ko la de din tap ta ngarang zo yedang ko la chi ngala thuji sinap je zero ji ngala kable yo ta tna mambo train de na train thugu amare te yong ko marte dagam sa ko koron darang train yedam la de da sa train do jina teni te che gom ndu teni malam la so pa kap so ya mi thaba cha ta malam la so pa kap so mi thaba ta maze 다 가디르스나 말한서 파르돌은 참 로버 값서 파르디 내 값서 예당 클라데 람산 현 자그리 송도 알아만나 바케 당하나나 파르디 내 값서 예당 클라데 현 자와다 냠도 다 예당 클라데 모힌 그리스 송도 예당 클라데 모히 바다 냠도 소소 드론 요리스 소소 드르 요리 간이 저거리 파르딘 지타레 드론 요리 간신 소소 예당 플라 현지 땡모 희송로와 어텐데 다 파르도니 롱거드 상자 트르거드 상자 추거드 상자 라도 데드 소소 예당 걸라데 담보 혀 데니 모히당 거 토니 다 추랑 거 트르거드 모 희송와이나 트르거드 모라 상자와당 롱거드 모 희송와이나 롱거 모 상자와당 추거 따르고 희소만 추거 뭐라 상제로와 다 된다 용거 요래 된다 인장 말아래바게 능한 남도 대 마히 버갑서 남히리야스 Te hi indu yihi rikha sonne, tene kong sang je tsadu yihi imba dazu hi se tangave nge yihi imba hako sonne, mulare bak sondo, tena inza ngarang su tata ni gom gore. Gom je te pe mesi gar chenpo yore, pe na tara ngarang su susu meng la gom de yorwa, gom de ba imba sonzan, machi ke gadu na churang meng gari labar su ti na, nga meng zo san no ke tong gom da katok lap to da meng. Oh, data which is chago yoris.
So when we wake up in the morning, we should develop the habit of instantaneously, upon awakening, to bring our mind to the Yidam deity, to allow the form of the Yidam deity to appear, to direct our mind to the deity. And so, as Shantideva has said, anything, and it really is a matter of habituation, as Shantideva has said, anything in this world that you habituate yourself to, or that you practice and become familiar with, eventually becomes easy. Likewise, Lord Jigten Sumgön has said that what is it, when we speak of experience and realization, what is experience and realization? It is habituation. It is actually merely a matter of habituation to the practice. So it is the habituation of the practice or meditation. And also the omniscient Longjin Rabjam said, it is not so much meditation as it is habituation. And actually this is a famous play on words, because the word for meditation and habituation sounds very similar in Tibetan. And so it is not meditation so much as habituation. And so meditation itself is a process of habituation. If it is the case, that when upon rising each morning, we automatically think of the Yidam deity, then this is really a great sign that we have practiced in such a way that this has become really deeply habituated. And that's what it is. If we think, we supplicate the deity and we say, oh, please look after me, please protect me, please grant your blessings. But actually it's a matter of remembering ourselves, of remembering the deity, because in that moment that we remember the Yidam deity, then in that very moment, the Yidam deity is there in our mind stream. And so if we habituate this familiarity with the deity, then even when we sleep, we will have dreams of the deity. The deity will appear in our dreams. And not only that, but eventually we will become so familiar that we will, even if we die at the time of death or in the bardo, when we're wandering in the bardo, the Yidam deity will appear to us. We will be able to meet the deity face to face. And so if, as is said, if one recognizes the deity in the bardo, then at that very moment upon recognition, one is liberated. Because if in the bardo one remembers or recognizes the deity, then in that moment there is no fear, or one has dispelled any fear. And so as is said, if there is recognition in the of the Nirmanakaya, then there is enlightenment through the Nirmanakaya. If there is recognition of the Sambhogakaya, there is enlightenment through the Sambhogakaya. there's recognition of the Dharmakaya, there's enlightenment through the Dharmakaya. And so likewise, as Milarepa said, not recognizing my mind, it is ordinary consciousness, and recognizing my mind, it is primordial wisdom or primordial awareness. And so for this reason, habituation is so important. And think of some of the things that we are so habituated to. When there's habituation, then things are just become second nature. There's no need to remember. There's no need to make effort. It just is completely natural and spontaneous. Just like, remembering our own name. If somebody asks us to say our name, we don't have to kind of think about it and say, oh yeah, what's my name? We immediately remember, oh yes, my name is this. And so in the same way, whatever it is that we really habituate eventually just becomes second nature or automatic.
Tene da ndobo ke julam te tinhi tin dan te chirtang da chi niru chowa nang ne ga shepe yi dongwa ngune do ngarang cho maung ba la tendra ke ryong me ke ta chitang cho junun bo ne go ya de karchen bo re sha samsung pe na nga ta samsang ti really tang ta so nan ro yo Rodu tini ma gimba he tena la yondu tini ma yumba te so ke kupja de ma gimba so la pu do te do gimba so ti kupja ka la de ji pe ji si rang hyo ba dang ne kap te zam ma che ke ji tenda ke ngarang zum ro mi ju cho ndi na zang ju yarab zang ju ke le ka tenda junin to ne ya la nga cho ke be chor nga cho ke char ye yo go sare ma do ke ko ne ka chan la ya bu yo ba chang gen dang ke yo ma re tenda yin cha ta che tela soba ke ta yinda thone ta so so tin hi tin dang de che ma sa la de ne ka so che ye dan yo ni me sem kan la no ya ke te yong ro dog de kam man do ta tela soba che so so ta ne tin hi tin ne tani te zama che so so de sa ke din ka la che mba ta sok cha la soba tam che yo na tela che chem nyam bas te ko nami ji te kala ma de gen lam sang se yo ro ta te sun chu ni te hi te ne te go yo res
Gong ta te go la che ka che song tan di ya po ko yo mare chik chin te sa che yo zare sam do te yi do ngwa chik sung tene te sama ko ma song gong ta
ya tang
they really do di ko song really do ko song di ging wen na ka sik ka she la song di ko ma song
ta ngarang cho ma de pe kap so te na chulan na pa yet la do ma de ya ke chulam tin ta ti ko ngai hyo yo ro wa tini ma do pe kap so tini ngai te hyen ba ta so so ka tin hi tin go ris tini nga ngai ma really nan ta lam ro nyo yo tini ma lo yu ba ka he ke te ko so
di ko song yeah tene de jela de really ge pe de ge jela ne kap do me yara zangchu betu charge de gare ya ko ma sa
ngaran chu tin ro ma yora ro ma la na ko yo te ngarang chu mi chi cho na chi cho de ta sok se tin ro mi chi cho nang da yarab zangchu ta to so yurin de ne go do sang ko yore ta sang ko do yarab zanchu de so la tarang ngarang to making thong am cho gu tun de jis yarang chi je te ya kar chim bore jis yarang ji te ang tam bore te da nyam de la mi chi cho ngarang to chi cho na yo ba ke yarab zanchu de so la dapo ja ne maung ba ke te ni mrap to so la pa cha zo go lo jin ban ro je tong ya ge chi to ngarang so ke dapo ja sung chep chi ge do sang go do si Teni tanda ke yarab zanju so la so aina teni pe pangpo ri kya se.
So then, with regard to sitting, to the conduct of sitting, so when we sit, to sit in such a way that is mindful, to practice mindful awareness with the conduct of sitting. So for instance, to sit in such a way when we're in situations where we're with, out and about in the community, and we are sitting together in like various forms of transportation, such as like on a train. So for instance, on the train, sometimes you will see, somebody, there are young people sitting, and the young person will stand up so that an older person can instead have the seat, take the seat. And this is really wonderful. When Khenpo says when he sees that, he really rejoices. This is a great example of practicing mindfulness with the conduct of sitting. And so in general, when we, with regard to, how we treat one another in, public, in society and public gatherings and so forth, it's really important to do so in such a way that expresses mutual respect and kindness, to treat one another with respect and loving kindness. And to also rejoice in the expressions of kindness that are displayed by others. So this, to uphold kindness, is a really valued trait in society, is really important. To kindness and generosity and so forth. So as a society, we should really take care of that, these traits and sort of honor them collectively, so that they continue to be considered of value for generations to come. If we lose those qualities, then it really will be a great loss for civilization as a whole. And so, likewise, when we are sitting, and in particular when we are sitting in a public situation or in a crowd, then we should be mindful and aware of the people to our left and right, and to be aware of our own conduct and to think, am I harming or bothering the person to my left and right in any way? And being sensitive to that, to adjust one's behavior or conduct accordingly, is really a great and important practice. So in this way, we can practice mindful awareness in the conduct of sitting. He also mentioned, again, before we sit down, to be aware of our seat, to see if there are any ants or insects that are there on our seat, and to make sure that we don't sit down on any insects as we sit, to carefully remove them, to protect them if there are any living creatures there.
Ari, that tampe chuga ton samna tambaina, then sanje ke maing bane sanje kunche lam songre. Tenda yin zang da kantar timpa de hujin teni la tine teni ngarang so ke gewa dropa chulang ya bo timba teni panza megewa tamche la zabzab chipa tonhang tepa te hindu tsa sanje tamche ke lamri songdo sanje rang te songre tena inza da ngarang so ke nangpa sanje pa chu dongkin je yimbe chane teni jimba de xiyin ni de zuo jin dong ne去gang的gang zhi ba yin na jimba de xiyin ni zuo ji jo de gar qin wo ri ma do ge teni参加样这俺让这个主要给完了，我就去这个用那样，真系的拉用的，等你养赢了，普通着呀当赢了吃完用呀，拉说吧，等着用没事吧嘛嘞，แต่มา用不用的จับได้ดู呀，去的真把的吸引你个用个有嘞，แต่说说个你是错那那什么当玩意那样，哈个会有嘞，等着现在等你打了。拉林说的嘛那真是机会你不尊重的送到这个对那因为呢他伢们能他go有认识。
Laglen so do man kandete ikari sumdo denshi.
Jemba da shivyin ni bote ta kar la gorda. Jemba da shivyin ni bote 다 ngaran tsul pen ta ten re no jana mambo chan sa re tim lalin sobde na song yore ta timba de hivin so so chuncha dawo ge char je gor yum ba ina te ka je tang te zo la te chuncha la ba go ra ti na yin yum mo ba dawo ten je nga jang zo sem te ser ji no mne ba te sung je na ra
And so, as is said, non-distraction is the path of all the Buddhas. And so this indicates just how important and crucial the qualities of mindfulness and awareness are in the context of Dharma practice. In order to really practice the Dharma, in order to actually practice virtue, and then one has to have mindful awareness. One has to practice mindful awareness in one's path of conduct or activity. So being cautious and heedfulness, exercising caution and heedfulness in our activities through mindful awareness is then we are following the path of all the Buddhas. And so as that is the case, since we're Dharma practitioners, then this is especially important because we also wish to follow in the footsteps of all the Buddhas, to follow the path of all the Buddhas. And so mindfulness and awareness are absolutely crucial. If we don't have mindfulness and awareness, sometimes even though we might be practicing virtue, inadvertently we may actually end up creating harm through what we are perceiving to be virtue, because we lack mindful awareness. We are not aware of that harm, and so this is a great danger. If we lose mindful awareness, then there are all sorts of downfalls and negativities that follow. And so, as it says in the 37 Bodhisattva practices, always being armed, or having the armor of mindfulness and awareness is the Bodhisattva's practice.
Oh, yeah, that. Pangwar sa chucho sibata te ridoa. Riwa? Pangwar jabe chucho.
Oh, okay.
That's in Kimbata. That's in Sapango to you. Na Pangwar jabe chucho, the datin and the tambo de la. Ji dictin chubje dans le lopon bang son. Dani da lopon lama gevhini de hyoko barwa. Tandela kandajo gorisina tuta shaking dra so namje tubata la chu tuba she de bata la keja she dang ndotang doktang tamje la shaking dra go go yore sonwa tani gomta nyumong chungwa so ten namje ngarang so gom dripa nyamni je de ba ka ta ndo tela nyumong chungwa go go so 다 데이터베지 요바이나 되니 gebhini tsini de ba cha yong ge ba tenda mai ba 되니 tsindi rang ge 되니 jiktin chuje ge shawa khona ma do tena mi songa ina 되니 date tara pang ja cha de yori song le
So I'm sorry, I don't think I mentioned that what we were just discussing with regard to mindfulness and awareness was the 10th. I don't remember if I read the 10th or not, but I'll just read it now. One should always have mindfulness and alertness upon the 4 kinds of, we did, I'm sorry, excuse me. So then the next section then are the 10 things to be given up. So the first of these, it says, give up the master whose actions are always mixed with the 8 worldly dharmas. So we have spoken quite a bit about the appropriate qualities of a qualified spiritual teacher. And so, wait, tupeta la kicha.
Tuba gatala horide. Tuba gatala. Teni julam de soma chazo golo julam jambo go yore son jambo lulu kain sina keja hip kap so yang teni mala che tsip la so ba mayin barwa teni gompa la so ba po kap so yang ta hi gong lu ba na yi tin hi tin ne pas che gompa kale po an da ta yin na kantar nun se jing ke ta ke mayin ba then semte ta de samba zang la ra le song de ko semba zambo yo ba la de kar chim bo wa zawak zawa no ji ro tu pe de ha chu mang bo tu de ta la de go yo re
Oh yeah ta okay ta ha ko
ta sina ta tin driver do ji ro driver tu de driver do pin to no de
So a qualified spiritual teacher should have the signs that come from what is referred to as the signs of listening or study. So with regard to the activities of study, contemplation, and meditation, the signs of extensive study or listening is that one's path of conduct or one's activities become relaxed and gentle. So one's disposition becomes really pacified or tame and gentle. And one becomes tamed and gentle in one's disposition. And the way that one speaks is with the same sort of gentleness. One speaks in a soft and kind manner. And one expresses just the qualities that we have just been talking about that come through generating mindfulness and awareness. So one treats others and engages in their own path of conduct in a gentle and peaceful way, so as not to cause harm to others. And this type of disposition is evidence or indicates that individual really has like the root of really pure intentions. And so the signs of meditation then are that one's afflictive emotions diminish, And so in this way, one can see the qualities of an authentic spiritual teacher are often evident. On the other hand, if a spiritual teacher is very coarse in such a way that they are obviously really first and foremost concerned with the 8 worldly concerns, if their focus and their activities are really obviously based on or filled with the objectives of the 8 worldly concerns, then it is a good idea to distance oneself from such a person or such a teacher.
Tati chu je nang de ga dambo chidang chu je de dambo karerisina de na gawa mede na magawa rewa ta te ta chong ma song ba dewa tang dongha de so ngo nyombo rawo che cha nyambo ngarang so che de chidang cha ja chimbo ke namjer yi nang go rojek song rewa ta rojek ke che long ban tar tu ba che nyamnyong mi ba yin yang che dewa tang dongha che ngo nyombo zamji de ba ta nyom zan jo de ba te ta che ne ba de go yo re teni te sing dambo de re teni ni ba de ni na gawa de ni na ma gawa de sing ni ba de wa chu je nang teni che so so la che tam ni ra tang Japan jer tang top ko sa tang so ni na hyu ga bo yo ba ta te so mi so an de so so hyu ma ga wa tang de ni sem pang bo te ta ba ma yin ba che cha nyong bo da wa je ka si ni ba yin na yang ya bo ri yin la ping to go yo ri so so la main ji yo na main di ju ne me yin la ping to so na de yore so so la top go sa ji yo na di ji ne yin la ping to so na de yore ka si mi ba yin na yang che par mi sa yang da wa je ta te ta ba je ngo nyong bo da cha nyong bo ta ba je ta te ta ba je go yoris ta ne ta de chin sum ba da de zang da ngi ta ne ko ne tang zang bo ji yin na shu ke ga ta ne che la ga ro ya ro ta ne tang ngin pa che go wang de se ba yin na de ne shu ke sem shok cha ro wa ta te ta ba ma yin ba zang yin ba cha nyong bo ta ba te ta ba je go yoris de ne ta de o de nga ran zo tu na ga wa ta me na ma ga wa song ro wa de ne yin je ke tu ba shu che na te ke shu ga ro je ga ne pe tang de ne me ba che re re ni re la won de te ke shu hyom ro ya ta te ta ba ma yin ba ko tu ba de yang lo chen ne te na so so lo tu ba chi mo na ya bo ri je wa nga ma so nam zam bo sa ba la te ne tu ba chi yong go yo ri ya bo ri chik je na yin ke me ba je yong ba te yang ke ju yo ma re chak cha na yi ri chak cha na yi ko te yin zang te len zin ba ma je ba te ni tu ba de me ba de cha nyong bo ro ta te ta ba je to ne te chi tum na chu je ngo nyom so ndo la ma nam ba ke dang wa na chu je ngo nyom rawo ta bon da je ya tap te ni ka le ke la ta ko chu je la ya de sa wa ni ko yong pa pang ta ba ta te ta ba je yin go yo wa ta te ta ge hi ni tam je ke ta to nang ti to lo zo te go sa te rin do yo ri si
So then with regard to a teacher who is really motivated by the 8 worldly concerns, first with regard to pleasure and pain, these should be a really qualified teacher has kind of equal regard with respect to pleasure and pain. So pleasure and pain are regarded equally. Just like in the four yogas of Mahamudra, one of them is the yoga of equal taste. And so even if the teacher is not at like the full development or the level of realization of the kind of complete development of the yoga of one taste, still to have some sense of equanimity with regard to the experiences of pleasure and pain is important. And then secondly, then there are the worldly concerns of gain and loss. So if we gain, if we experience gain, then the mind is happy. If one experiences loss, then they are unhappy. So for instance, with respect to wealth and possessions, if one is able to gather a lot of wealth and wealth and possessions, then they are really happy, or they are pleased by getting having lots of receiving many offerings and so forth. But then if somebody if they feel like they aren't receiving enough, if they're not receiving a lot of offerings and whatnot, or they're not able to acquire a lot of wealth and possessions, then they are disappointed. They maybe even get angry or upset that they haven't been able to acquire enough. And so obviously, if that is the case, then that is a sign of being too wrapped up in the 8 worldly concerns. And so therefore their attitude should be one of equilibrium, thinking, if I receive a lot of wealth or material objects, then this is beneficial. I can help others, and may it be a benefit to beings. This is a result of former merit and virtue. But if I don't, then there's no problem with that either. So there's not really attachment one way or the other. Then with regard to praise and blame, so if one thinks, if one is praised and really honored by others, then one is really happy. And if one is criticized or disparaged by others, then one feels really upset by this or angry. And so again, a really qualified spiritual teacher would kind of would have an attitude of equanimity with regard to praise and blame, without any real need to be praised or venerated by others, but also recognizing that if they are praised and venerated by others, to accept this as and see the benefit, thinking may others be benefited through their own the purity of their own view, to rejoice in the benefit that others receive from that. But to not have attachment or need for praise for oneself. And then with regard to fame, the worldly concerns of fame and defamation, then if, well, this actually seems like it goes with the one before, but if, for instance, one is really lauded as really important and famous, and one has a great reputation and it's very popular, really being delighted by this and being upset or disappointed if one's reputation is maligned in any way, or if one is criticized. So if with just a few words, upon hearing a few words of criticism, to become really infuriated or really disappointed, indicates a lack of equanimity with regard to fame and defamation. And if one is honored and venerated with a good reputation, then one thinks this is due to merit accumulated and virtue accumulated in former lives. And if they are not, if they are criticized and disparaged, then this also doesn't matter. There's no attachment. They think of these critical or negative words as being like empty echoes. And so, in any case, the 8 worldly concerns should be, regarded equally with a sense of equanimity or equilibrium with regard to the 2 extremes of each, so that there's not attachment or aversion with regard to one or the other. And so to find a spiritual teacher who exemplifies this kind of equanimity with regard to the 8 worldly concerns is really beneficial. And if a spiritual teacher expresses a great attachment and aversion with regard to the 8 worldly concerns, then that might be it might be wise to abandon or to create some distance with respect to those that teacher.
Chirtang geta chorang la gangkin tesokene chorang la tapartuba chigiris chorang la magangkin tesokene chorang ke yakpo chena yang tene dukja chindo ze chado chin tena chigiris ta ten de teni pala che shu ga yoya tang do yoya ke telander tbya rawo chi mari tebe na ko chanyam rawo chi ya yana tene soso jarka tabde yoris.
So in general, it's good to keep in mind that those who like us will always praise us or say nice things, and those who don't like us will always disparage or say negative things out of jealousy. They will have an attitude of jealousy and kind of negativity with regard to us. And so to not really pay it any mind, because and to just let it be in equanimity is advisable with regard to those who like us and those who don't like us.
Shudu Sam Drupa Nyamli Nang de Drumden Rawatela, then Simke Duke Newmont de Ma Chongo Yuri, then Chula Che Tusam Gomsan Nang de Vatik Drumden Rawate, Lunga Chulam Tamche, then Ma Hiwa, Drua, Tana Go Yubaris.
So, in brief, it is good. If the spiritual teacher, one spiritual teacher should demonstrate a pacified mind stream, and that there aren't many displays of afflictive emotions, that it seems as though the afflictive emotions in their mind stream are quite diminished. And likewise, they should affect the student in such a way that they cause the afflictive emotions in the mind stream of the student to diminish. Likewise, they should reflect the qualities of study or hearing, contemplation, and meditation in their path of activity or conduct, and that their conduct should be pacified and subdued.
Tene dan nipa te sem dan nyamla nobo korn dat dan zhongi bang song. Ta de ke yang gare song ko yore hibaina. Tane ta lama gevi hinin de la jiktin chibje da trawa. Tuta hiwa hekin towa gomda nyumong chwa zji cha chang de bo yona yang. Tenin kolomate la teni lama teke la tani tanda ke chu nyamli chibala parche chinkin tani tamse yapo musongkin tani ta teta wichi ina tani panzare sungare.
So then the next line is, give up those friends and companions whose company affects your mind and experience negatively. So in the same way that the qualities of the spiritual teacher should be such that they demonstrate freedom from the 8 worldly concerns, and that they are peaceful or pacified and gentle in their conduct. And likewise, the entourage or students should be Dharma companions in such a way as that they do not create obstacles by spending time with them. It does not create obstacles to one's own Dharma practice. That they are capable of protecting or upholding the samayas. If that is not the case, if it is the opposite, then it is better to distance oneself from those companions.
Loma chine nyarne teni minga da dangwa de so tungo na tanda loma te nu de dimba main tu kale kabo yorite ina ya ngarang so chancho ku sem ton sam na tama ina so su kor loma chine manya pa ina ya chancho sem de na yo lu tong ning ke yomarisi pena ngarang tela gonda tapar ndong yore te matata simjin khatsal tamjela hoa sur zone yang smoking offering dawaje yore tenana song yore tena kare song yesna counter tena da hoa sisa telen nu de major ba zodita dan da nu de major pakaya mi sonre tin andong kare shiba na da ngara zu janchok semke ro simjin tamche pama maje ba jigjang mi zang teni ngara zu janchok semje mogo sa gen ro simjin ji yo mari sonre de inzang ngara zu janchok semke toni simjin gang ji lu dong ning ke yo mari yina ya kaps baba ke ngarang ke chugen rawa chumder chug tonen rawa chitang ke thoni ta yang ko kaps baba la tamchai tang to so tepa ta tanang ma dimba yina teni tela mixa ke che loma yin to so chong chi go ya ke jumsin ke chak yo mari ma do ke janchok sem lu tong ning ge yo mari te kar chim bor ngarang so ke namju sem na nya go ya.
So when we say, that one should give up those friends and companions whose company affects one's mind or experience negatively, so this isn't to say that one should abandon bodhicitta. So even though it is advisable, that one should, for instance, only that the profound teachings and pith instructions should be given to those who are worthy vessels. Or in this case, that one should, surround oneself with those who are worthy vessels in the practice of Dharma. But from the perspective of bodhicitta, one should never abandon even a single sentient being. And so, for instance, in the Sorka, or the evening burnt offering practice, which is like the smoke offering, when doing the dedication, it says, there is no one who is not a proper vessel, or there's no being that is not a proper vessel. And so all sentient beings have been one's own mother or father. And so there is no one who is excluded from that. All sentient beings have this connection of being one's own, having been one's own mother and father in the past. And so one should cherish them as such and never abandon with a mind of bodhicitta, or from the perspective of the bodhicitta vows. We should cherish all sentient beings without abandoning or discarding any of them from our heart. However, temporarily, in the context of our Dharma practice, it is advisable to seek out companionship among those who have faith and pure view, those who are devoted to the Dharma themselves, and who influence one, those who become a good influence rather than a negative influence, those who cause the positive qualities to increase. And so if it is the case that there are some who end up affecting one in such a way that causes one's own positive qualities to diminish, then it is good to take some temporary distance.
Oh, that did Loma Nimba, Juba Nimba, Samba Nimba, Mayimba. Drobo Samba Nimba, Juba Nimba, Mayimba. Teni Lama and Sini Dimbata, Deta Vagina, Deta Changna, Tenita, Tenak Nixak, Sacha Deang, Teni Jin Parche, Gayang Misa, Ne Wimba, Yidongwa. Oh, that Deta Vagila, Nena, Teniti Naranso, Tesunguri. Sazambotang, Drozambotang, then there's a Saman Zombaina, then Namjaba Tamjeta, Yamnichisa, Lanami Bari Sone, there's some Sabzanwatang, Drozangwa, Namjir Devi Yobzi, Din song. Oh, then some batter the race, then it Trentana Yagus Marwe.
So in this way, when the student themselves have a pure intentions, a pure path of conduct with pure samayas and virtuous intentions, or when perfecting the path of virtue, and likewise the student relies upon a qualified teacher with all of the characteristics, and likewise when the companions are also virtuous companions, and that encourage virtue. And one dwells in a good place. They all together, they dwell in a place that is free of obstacles, without obstacles or many adverse conditions, a place where there is a solitude, where they can all practice in solitude, a delightful place like this. Then the place is good and the companionship is good, and so all of the practitioners or the yogins can practice in such a way that their practice is increasing, or their practice is deepening and progressing in an unsurpassed way. And so in that way, these aspects are very important, or the place and the teacher, the student, and the companions. And so then we can leave it here for today.
Sunam de Tamje Zebanye, Tovanye, Dana Banze, Jaga Nanja Balon, Robaye, Zeben, Zolen, Rova, Jo, Jamba, Babe, Cheddar, Jamba, Dongunda, Zombo, Dea, and Dejen. Teda Gunje Jizu Dalo Givan Teda Damje Rabda Ngo Pama Simji Damje Dedan Danger Genro Tamje Dado Tomara Janju Zambai Ganda Zajo Ba Teda Gunje Molan Raba Jo Simji Nepa Jinye Ba Nyurta Nele Tarjoj Robe ne namale ba da dun jongwa me ba jo chanchu semjo rambo je ma je ba nan je je ji ba nyam ba me ba ya kono kondo be ba jo. Thank you very much.